$50 Ferraris, they were rented. Robbie Williams' castle home, it belonged to someone else. MTV Cribs wasn't exactly legit.
And we said that.
I mean, neither is the Instagram models that do this. They rent bags and stuff. And cars and apartments to make themselves look good.
That was my house.
Oh, that wasn't your house?
No, it's all lies.
And nothing shows this better than the episode with Ja Rule. He
Ja
flexed his
Rule!
5-bedroom
I
mansion
heard
on
that
Star Island in
song.
Miami, where he talked about living beside other famous celebrities. The house was so familiar that Ja Rule named each area, calling his courtyard the Open Paradise, which was patrolled by his guard dog Cookie. It was shown in the intro that the property was a rental, but this was assumed to be on a long-term basis, given he knew almost everything about the mansion. However, as it turns out, Ja Rule's house on Cribs was actually a 4-day rental, which was exposed in the most embarrassing way, by lawsuit. Ja Rule
Oh my god, who
paid
sued him?
$46,000 for the 4-day lease, promising the mansion's owner it'd be used as a private home for 8 adults with no video shoots and no loud parties. Well,
Wait, they actually posted this even though it was against the rules. You really shot yourself in the foot with that one. Yeah.
Ja Rule broke all 3 conditions, shooting his MTV episode whilst having a party
MTV.
with over 600 people. In the process, holes were punched in the walls, furniture and doors were damaged, the driveway somehow
man.
cracked, while condoms and syringes were left throughout the
What are them syringes for? Are they for dogs?
house. As a result, Ja Rule and MTV were sued for $1 million, but at least it looked like a house that Ja Rule would live in, as the Yin Yang Twins' crib was laughably out of character. The Atlanta gangster rapping duo opened the door revealing the most suburban house, filled with fish tanks, sailing boats, and sea-related artwork.
I was about to say, I don't know, man. What if it was actually their house? Don't you feel freaking weird saying that? Like, oh, it's so not typical for them. Like,
I even like to see we decorated this ourselves now.
That mansion was definitely decorated by some old white people, not the Yin Yang Twin.
I don't know. It seems like kind of a little bit racist to say that. What if they are? Like, what if they're into like the ocean and ships?
This is clearly just a random old white guy's house that likes to fish and likes boats.
They'd even argue over where they bought appliances and had to improvise names for each of the fish. You can tell the Yin Yang Twins have never been in that house. It seemed they at least owned the vehicle.
They didn't even practice. They just went in there raw
as the cars
dogging.
displayed by Bow Wow were rented for the show. He was just 18 years old during his first Cribs appearance, but despite having starred in some high-profile movies, it seemed
remember this
unrealistic
movie.
that
What
he
the
could
fuck?
afford a 6-bedroom mansion and a fleet of luxury cars. With his name airbrushed above his bed, it seemed as though Bow Wow at least owned the house, although the luxury vehicles were a little more suspicious.
Again, it is easier to lie on public television when the internet wasn't super popular than it is now. People didn't have the kind of info that we do now. It's actually kind of scary finding people's shit out online. It's so easy to find stuff now.
Because 2 years later he'd go on the show again, during which a viewer made an observation. We had MTV Cribs running in the background and watched 21-year-old Bow Wow show off his bachelor pad in Miami, along with his pimped out Bentley, Lamborghini and Cadillac Escalade. But then we noticed the word Prestige at the bottom of all 3 cars and decided to Google Prestige Rental Cars Miami, and what do you know, there it was. Prestige was the name of the company that Bow Wow rented the cars from, which was likely encouraged by the show, as Birdman also used the service during his appearance. Regardless, people clowned on Bow Wow, stating, "Ha ha ha, I wonder if he rented the condo too," which by looking at his
Look at those old forum posts as well. God dang.
life was also highly likely. For example, he'd post his Ferrari to his Instagram, writing, "Take the drop top to the night spot. Keep the California in California. We went hard tonight, Grammy weekend," which was then reposted by a car rental company who accidentally exposed our good friend Bow Wow pulling up to the Grammys with our Ferrari California.
Oopsie daisies! Dude.
1 year later, it was exposed for flexing a rented Hollywood mansion, but the worst example was in
It's like if you posted yourself getting like, you know, from like 600 pounds to 200 pounds and then the doctor asks you and it's like, "Wow, glad you're looking so good. I'm so glad you came to the hospital 3 weeks ago. Wow." So exposed, man.
2017, when he'd post this to his Instagram. He showed the private jet he was taking to his concert, yet the very same day this Snapchat went viral. So this guy Lil Bow Wow is on my flight to NY,
Wow.
but on Instagram he posted a picture of a private jet caption "traveling to NY today," shaking my head. Turns out Bow Wow's picture of his private jet had been taken from a limo company's website, prompting people to dig even deeper, discovering he'd done this on more than one occasion.
Again, this is so nothing new, man. It's nothing new. People still do this. They might cover it a lot better than before. I was flabbergasted when people who are unironically broke rent expensive bags and watches for daily like shootings for like Instagram posts to make themselves look good so that their crypto or their like self-help lessons pop off because they think it's like real.
It seems his MTV Cribs episode led to years and years of
you can
faking
rent anything,
luxury,
yeah.
but as mentioned in Bow Wow's expose, 50 Cent had done a similar thing. 50 Cent's episode was the definition of excess. He showed his 19-bedroom, 35-bathroom mansion, which included a squash court, movie theater.
What do you even need 35 bathrooms for? You need like a scooter to like go around.
Theater, recording studio, and its very own nightclub. Equally impressive was his car collection, which included 4 different rare collectible Ferraris, leading him to state,
I know you ain't see these before when you was watching Cribs because everybody ain't got these.
Yet it seems 50 Cent didn't have them either. Each Ferrari had little numbers on their windshields, leading to a forum post reading, "If you notice the small white numbers in the top left-hand corner of the windshields on the F50 and Enzo, those are the
Yep, they
numbers of
loaned
the
them.
cars that were in the Hartford Concorso parade," which was confirmed when the user posted these photos. Another forum member added, "It's pretty obvious that they aren't his, because it's a known fact that there's only one yellow Enzo in CT, which was owned by a pretty well-known hedge fund manager." Well,
I just don't understand why you even want to fake that. Like, I don't know. I just feel like if I ever got that rich, I wouldn't spend it on a bunch of stupid ass cars. Like, one car is fine. Like, okay, you want your one luxury car to like make it feel like you made it, but like I'm fucking 5? Like, why?
someone else then officially confirmed. The Ferraris are unfortunately not 50 Cent's. He invited my friend over to his house for this, and my friend let him use his cars for the episode,
what a nice
and they were
guy.
filming some music videos that day as well. The Enzo F50 and 599 all belonged to one owner. When 50 Cent later filed for bankruptcy, he'd admit the cars were rented. He'd instead pay off debts by selling his mansion, therefore joining the likes of JoJo, who admitted to doing MTV Cribs while she was actually homeless. JoJo showed MTV through her Cape Cod vacation home, where she supposedly loved
Who's JoJo? Wait!
spending her summers. It was therefore a little weird that she'd invite her extended family, but she'd reveal the reason for this exactly 10 years
Oh,
later.
singer from the
JoJo was
2000s.
asked
Okay, I
about
don't
the
know who that
episode
is.
in a Huffington Post interview, to which she'd respond it was so ridiculous. The thing is, we didn't have a home at that point. My mum and I were living out of suitcases and were mostly in hotels. So that was actually my uncle's house on the Cape. That wasn't my house, that wasn't my stuff. I should have balled hard and been like, welcome to my crib, look at how luxurious it is, and I should have rented out a place. But no, I just used my uncle's crib. JoJo further clarified.
So we went to the Cape, which I've like never been to the Cape. I like never go to the Cape. And we said that that was my house.
Oh, that wasn't your house?
No, that was not my house. We brought in some like items that I had. It's all lies.
So it makes it, I don't know, man. That's sad. I just don't get the notion for like having people appear affluent or like, again, it's cable. I know everything's fake and stuff, but like, I just don't see the point. Like, I wouldn't have this much of an ego in the first place.
Should also answer the question.
Why even bother doing the episode then?
For the exposure. Oh, okay.
But no episode was faker than the one by Robbie Williams. He showed MTV
Robbie
his massive
Williams.
British castle, talking about the spots where he'd been snapped by paparazzi. He then shows his group of friends before making a joke.
I don't really know these people, but what I do is I actually phone rent a friend.
But apparently he'd also phoned rent a castle. You see, the building was so big that people recognized it as the famous St. Catherine's Court, which was owned by someone else.
It's a really nice castle, though. Holy.
Completely. Jane Seymour.
That's so cool.
She had no idea that Robbie ever went there or that he'd hired a fake butler to help out with the shoot. It wouldn't be until 17 years later that Robbie finally admitted we didn't let Jane know that I was gonna pretend it was my house. And because I was like 23 and full of spunk, I didn't even consider other people's thoughts or feelings. So I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to Jane Seymour.
You know what? You get a pass. If you're sorry and you were 23 and dumb and full of fame, yeah, I get it.
But it might not have even been Robbie Williams' fault, because Redman explained in a DJ Vlad interview that MTV tried to get him to rent a house for cribs.
They wanted me to rent a house so I can open the big double doors and shit like, yo, look at my shit, you know.
With MTV trying to choose the home themselves.
The first thing they said was, all right, we got a couple of houses picked out for you. Wow. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, Redman simply refused.
And I said, you know what? No, I don't want to rent a house. I want y'all to come to my house.
Accidentally making the show's most relatable episode.
That's what I mean. Why didn't they do this? It's so backwards, you know what I'm saying? Like, why not make it more relatable? It's like, oh, I live in a tiny, like, efficiency. Look at my little house. One reason, security. Okay, but then rent like a little one bedroom or something. Like, okay, I understand. A good point. Security. Why not rent a place that's like similar or something? Yeah.
He brought MTV cribs to his 2-bedroom apartment where he ironed his shirts on the floor. And
oh my god, that looked like my brother's old place. Like his old place. Oh my god. I just got flashbacks. The carpeted blue stairs. Ugh.
Flexed his frozen fish fillets. Redman's recording studio was just a messy bedroom, whilst the rest of his house was in such disarray, you could barely notice his cousin sleeping on the ground. He concludes the episode stating, next time y'all need to find me, just rub these 2 wires for the doorbell.
Don't worry about the screen too. You know it's still good.
That's a real dude right there.
Realest episode of MTV Cribs.
That was good.
Redman didn't fake it like other celebrities.
Dude, I didn't have a doorbell. You just have to fucking knock as hard as you can. That was good. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, producers just don't care about like relatability at this point. Again, some people say that Asmongold, because he has so much money, like you can't even deny that someone like Asmongold has so much money that he's on a studio. He lives in a studio and he fakes like being a dirty, like, you know, a little gremlin.